Right then, welcome back to the channel, and we've got the mid-season draft about to hit, and there is a few clubs that are going to have a few picks in this draft, looking to kind of kickstart the back end of the year, maybe replace some injuries, or maybe just try and find that diamond in the rough, as Jafar told Aladdin at that one time. We're going to focus on Essendon, who will have 3 picks this year, so let's run that intro and get stuck into it. So the Bombers, they are going pretty well, and probably where you'd expect with expectations. They're sitting in a nice little area there, out of the bottom 6, let's say that. But injuries have piled up, and this is where the mid-season draft is kind of less of a luxury and more of a necessity. They've lost Sam Draper and Nick Bryan, 2 rucks, 2 very good rucks as well, and Tommy Edwards, who started like a house on fire in the AFL as a mature age player. Matt Rosa has really got a literal task here. This is probably a real baptism of fire for him since taking over from Dodora. And the War Room now has 3 golden tickets. So what we're going to try and do in this video is unpack what kind of strategy they may deploy, but also what kind of players are out there and the different options available to them about where they go. So headed into this campaign, I think everyone would have said that this year was kind of like a stabilisation year. Try and get into that. Around that 12th era was where I had them, starting to build. And you know what? This season, they have played some good football. Definitely, when you're looking at players like Durham, Hobbsy, Nick Martin, you've got some real strong players. You've got Isaac Keiko there, who is going on like a house on fire. You've got Nate Caddy. They've got a real nice little well-balanced list. But obviously the cracks have shown. Sam Draper was playing probably up there with his career best form before he went down with a crippling injury for the year. Nick Bryan, he's always been that kind of succession plan for the ruck, the break glass in case of emergency, and he unfortunately went down. And then obviously a key forward option in Tom Edwards, he went down. Now so far Goldstein is flying solo. With Tom Edwards going out, the return of Carl Langford kind of negates that, who would have been first choice anyway. But at the minute, you are seeing they're relying on a plethora of mids to play in the forward half of the ground. It's almost like if you watch EPL, Merlino playing for Arsenal in the forward line. You've got to kind of address that. I think this is a real good opportunity here for Essendon to kind of look for that relief today and maybe have an eye for the future as you do it and kind of jump the queue. So let's have a look at the 3 solutions. So the first part we're going to look at is the ruck problem. Who's ready now? And we've picked out 2 little players. Now, the first guy we're going to talk about is a guy called Lachlan Blakiston. He's from East Fremantle now. He's a name that has always been in and around drafts. There was a lot of talk about him late last year, about being looked at for teams in their pre-season supplementary draft. And he got a big shoulder injury, so he's only played 1 game in 2025. In that game, he had 18 touches and 22 hitouts. But the year before, he had 10 games, 16.1 touches, 35 hitouts and 4 tackles. And the good thing about him is he's got a real dominant leap. His follow-up pressure is second to none. And he's kind of like Nick Bryan in that terms of physicality. And with him being a little bit more older, the mature age type aspect of him, he has got AFL readiness written all over him. Is he like a plug-and-play today? I mean, obviously there's going to be a bit of a teething process, but when you're giving these guys 12 months, some of them will want 18-month contracts. I don't mind this one here because I feel like we have seen some success stories in the AFL. You've seen Harry Boyd at St Kilda and how he started his AFL career. I feel like there's something similar here with Lachlan. I feel like he can be the right type of player for Essendon should they look for that kind of avenue. The other guy we're going to look at is Southport's very own, the VFL dominant, Braden Crossley. Now, once upon a time, he was on the Gold Coast list, and he has really, really reshaped himself, and he's worked quite hard on his fitness, and it's been really noticeable in the Southport games this year. That's been the big question mark on him. Now, he came ever so close as a train-on for the Doggies, and he missed out on that. But I feel like this might be the safest option with them. He's constantly overlooked, and with them having roughly 3 picks in the draft, I feel like this is someone that you could maybe get a bit creative with your first and go for best available player. And this guy will be there come their second round. The 5 games this year, 40 hit-outs on average, 6 tackles per game. He's a real defensive powerhouse. And I think that this would really help Essendon have some backup for Goldstein, but also give him a little bit of a rest as well. They don't want Goldstein playing the full allotment of games. And I think Crossley's got something there just from the terms of, I wouldn't want to waste a list spot if I was Essendon on a developing player, and that being my go-to for this year as well, in the terms of the ruck stock. So he's definitely got the footy smarts. He's definitely been in and around the block. He's a mature age. I really like this pickup for them, and I think this would be someone that would be safe as houses. Then the next point is maybe you go with someone explosive. You know the forward line needs some kind of creativity. And the first guy we're going to look at is Sammy Turner, the Richmond VFL boy. Now, in the recent Young Guns game, this guy has had 4 goals back-to-back. He's played in the VFL as well for Richmond, averaging 13 touches, 4 marks, 2 score involvements. Now, there's definitely going to be like kind of an accumulation phase of him learning the game. You can see from the VFL that when he's playing against kids, there's a total difference in him, but he's definitely unlucky not to be drafted last year. He's a very fast, high-leaping player who also has good understanding of the pressure fundamentals, and he brings the heat at ground level, and he's got that X factor in the air. And although he's raw, I think he adds something that they've lost since Jakey Stringer, in that terms of that vertical, dangerous forward-type player. I could really see him suiting the way that Essendon play, especially that hit-up lead as the kind of like diminutive hybrid midfield forward. And it would make sense they're trying to do this with midfielders at this stage. I think Sammy Turner would be a really good pickup. But that leads me on to the guy that really does excite me, and a player that I think could be the diamond in the rough for many clubs that may have picks in that. And that is Msimo Raso at Richmond VFL. He is a proper thinker. He reads the play incredibly well. He's played 6 games this year in VFL, 2 goals a game, 14.5 touches. And he keeps the ball moving. He would be a really good link man with someone, say, like Isaac Keiko. Now, obviously, his ball use at times does need polish, and he does like to take the dangerous option. He is guilty of just flinging it on his foot, but he has got explosive pace and ability to turn a game. And it's all these kind of things that do translate incredibly well to AFL football. Obviously, this isn't a high-efficiency position when he's going to be playing in the forward pocket. He's got that smarts. He's got real good spatial awareness. And I think he could be a long-term weapon as well. And when I look at Essendon, that's definitely a need there. Isaac Keiko can't carry the load as an 18-year-old on his own. So you need a couple there to really help him out. And I feel like Rasso's got that ability to slot and plug in play. So he would be a really good option for them. And then we look at maybe a project ruck, and we look at Floyd Burmeister. Now, AFL clubs overlooked him last year, but a big vertical leap, ground ball aggressive. He's incredibly tough, very rugged, and he's had some of these moments. Now, he didn't have a great game in the Young Guns game, it has to be said. Incredibly raw, but some one of them facets, he is an absolute behemoth of a human being. Is someone that, long term with these very athletic standout traits of his could be something moving forward. I think there's a lot of versatility with Floyd as well. Could be down back, could be forward. Definitely going to be a ruck as well in the way he goes. His ruck craft isn't so bad. And he is a guy that I think my one concern with him is I haven't seen him add so much from when I was watching him in the draft last year. But this is definitely a long-term project, and he has got them agility traits that the AFL froths. This would be one of them ones where Essendon maybe, if he's still there, with a second or their third round in the MSD, they go, okay, let's have a go at him. But with Draper and Bryan not being ancient, is there room for a training ruck? That's going to be something that, Rosas will have to think about. The other guy is Flynn Riley. 17 touches in 17 hit-outs in his 1 VFL game for the Blues. Now, he's not footy flashy, but he is very footy IQ. He uses his frame. He's got elite ruck work. He looks every part of the ruckman. And he is that type of player that I think is a plug-and-play backup ruckman who potentially could become a club favourite. He has a lot of Andrew Phillips about him, and I think that will appeal to Carlton fans and also Essendon fans, that he goes about his job and he is top-level average is where I see his ceiling. Someone that works really hard. He's got real good foundations as well. And he goes about his work really, really well. And this could be something that, they will look at. And definitely someone that would appeal to me if I was in Matt Rosas' position and I want a developing ruck, that he's got 9 out of 10 of the facets that you want. And a real, real good kid as well. And then the final section is maybe they look in-house. A lot of teams do this, go in-house to their VFL, and they've got a couple of players in there that really do fit the bill. And one of them is the ex-Eagles Xavier ONeal. Now, he is a real staple of the Essendon VFL squad, and he does stand out a lot. Decent ground coverage, very tough around the ball, and he is an offensive weapon. And that is maybe a POD that Essendon are looking. They are really trying a lot of players. Have they got that guy that can really split the game open who's ready now? 27 touches, 12 score involvements per game. He's industrious, he is hard-working, and it is one of them safe options. My one negative with this is he reminds me a lot of Will Hayes when Carlton picked him up in the MSD. Dominant at VFL level, is that the spirit there? But this would be something that, just adds a bit of bolster of the list. Definitely a development role as well when he's playing with some of the younger kids they've got. They've got some terrific mid-forwards who are young. You've got Archer Day-Wicks, you've got Zachy Johnson. This is like kind of a standard setter for them, that if they usurp him in the next 12 months or so, they'll be incredibly good footballers. It is definitely one of them stopgap type things, and although I'm not hot on it, it is an option for them. The next one is Oscar Smart, and I love this guy in his draft. Great link-up player. 4 games, a goal a game, natural forward who definitely leads incredibly well. Really leads to the pockets of space well. He does use his body well as well. He's quite diminutive for his size as well. And that's something that's probably he needs to eat a few of Mumma's steaks. But I really like his gameplay. He's got a real good awareness of where he is. He links up really well. And this would kind of suit because obviously they've taken a punt on Edwards. Don't see kind of the lateral thing. Do I think he's making up the numbers? Probably in 2025, yes. But these are the type of players that other clubs have started to look at late in the drafts next year, especially with the draft coming up this year not being massively in depth. I would suspect a few VFL listed players are punted on by other clubs. So this might be just them thinking, shall we get ahead of the queue? Shall we prepare now? He's done a little bit. It'll be an interesting one. And then the next one, Will Hall. Key defender, 13.5 touches, 3.5 marks a game, multiple intercepts as well. A real aerial beast. He's really composed as well when he has the ball in his hands. He's been in the VFL list a lot. He was one of your supplementary options. And I really like this guy. I feel like there's a maturity here. Now, is there room for a backman at Essendon? This could be that case there. Is there really a big room for him? I'm not 100% sure. I feel like they have got stocks invest in that and they need it elsewhere. However, is there options here that they get a bit creative and they look at it? You've seen Dylan Shield play at halfback. Is this an option that maybe they look at playing him half forward? We do know that his kicking efficiency is always that thing that he gets panned for. It's a lot easier to defend forward of the ground than it is at the back line. I do really like Will, though, and I do feel like, again, see what I said about Oscar Smart. I do think teams will have a sniff, and definitely there will be a few people in the MSD who maybe are looking for a bit of depth in that key defence place. I won't be surprised to see North Melbourne free up a list spot here, and he would definitely be a player that I know that they're heavily linked with some of theirs like Adam Tomlinson, but this might be someone that they look at as well. But I really like him. I really think he stands out for the VFL team. He's strong, he uses his body well, and that's what he goes with. So if I had a gun to my head, I would like to see, if I was you guys, if I was Essendon, I'd like to see, Braden Crossley come in now to protect my ruck stocks. Definitely a Msimo Raso. I think that's exactly what Essendon are looking for. And then if I'm looking for a little bit of upside, a little bit of depth options, I definitely look at Oscar Smart, and I feel that that would bring in 2 forward options that really, really help us out ASAP Rocky. But then also we've got that backup, and that's the person we can plug and play in with Todd Goldstein. So Bombers fans and AFL fans, let me know, who would you take? Would you go with the ready-made route, or do you like to gamble on raw talent? Let me know your 3 picks below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if enough of you do it, I might nominate myself, and I'll come in and play ruck. 6'2", so bit of a small one, but I could do it. But look after yourselves. Hope to see you tonight at the St Kilda Carlton game. Check out that preview as well. That'll be on the screen after this. Peace, love and light. Pom out.